Why Jaden Smith can never succeed. This nigga wasted just making videos on anything, bro. But we gonna see what he's talking about.
He was born into a unique position in hip-hop. The son of a man who obtained the first Grammy for the culture before going on to become a megastar in the always insane world of Hollywood, Will and Jada's son was essentially born to succeed. And though that came with its advantages, it also placed a heavy burden on his shoulders.
Think about it. He is the first rich black kid, really, like, of royalty, where people are like, you're Will Smith's dad. He's the most visible example of it. Like, he has room to fail.
Yet, he has certainly taken advantage of that room to fail, just as Gambino alluded to. But the problem is that he has done so in a way that the prospect of viewing him as a star in his own right, as opposed to the weird kid of Fresh Prince, is practically impossible for a lot of people. Particularly when he has done a million things.
I'm not gonna lie, to Fame cooked that nigga's brain. Like, his shit fried, I feel like. I don't know this nigga personally, so I can never really know, but like, I feel like his shit is fried.
That have cemented that reputation. It's your boy Luesta, and this is why Jaden Smith can never succeed. When you see Jaden Smith,
like, being born with that amount of fame, like, realizing that it is, cause he realized it early is what's crazy. Like, age 10, this nigga acting in Karate Kid and shit, probably not even 10, he was probably like 9 or something. Just realizing how famous you is, you're gonna be like, damn, I'm on top of the world. It's gonna give you like an ego of death, nigga. And then you got him doing nutty shit like this. Like, his brain is fried, bro.
Smith in the headlines,
his brain is fried.
Than not because of something other than his music. And alongside that, he's usually getting clowned on for some publicity stunts or over-the-top antics, or just straight up being annoying. Just look at the recent attire he chose to sport at this year's Grammys and how everyone responded to it. Appearing alongside his sister, the similarly eccentric Willow, Jaden baffled the internet once again when he decided to rock a castle on his head, which was designed by the Transylvanian designers Abodi. Understandably, people were a little baffled by this decision, but more than that, they were actively annoyed by what they were seeing. My teen girl says is giving pick-me energy. What the heck is wrong with him? I wouldn't want to sit behind him at the award show. Anything for attention. So sad. Understandably for Jaden, this has increasingly become the reaction when he does anything. But this certainly didn't happen overnight, and the question is, does he really have anyone to blame but himself? Where the public were once interested enough in what he had.
Oh my god, that nigga's first album, this shit, Sire shit, that shit was hard, bro. I don't know what happened to bro though.
To say that his debut album went gold, he's now in a tough spot where everything he does gets diminishing returns. And now, musically at least, he's at a point where it doesn't seem like he'll ever better the commercial success he saw back when he appeared alongside Justin Bieber on Never Say Never. Now, it would be disingenuous to act like he doesn't have his supporters who do vibrate with what he's putting out. As to some people, Jaden's outlook on life is an inherently refreshing one. Some even labeled him as innovative and that they were really proud of him, while others referred to him as a national treasure. But it's fair to say that the vast majority of people who aren't specifically subscribing to his mindset, Jaden's journey through hip-hop seems like a missed opportunity that has been squandered by his own behavior. And while you may not realize it, he's been on this path for a long time. As you might have expected, Jaden claims he has been hip-hop and its culture since birth.
He just said he couldn't remember. And then he said, I'm bugging, right? I'm not bugging. Run that back, bro. Hold up.
Going back to where my parents are from and seeing how people, I was really into that when I was young.
Nurtured by the Fresh Prince himself and his wife, actress Jada Pinkett Smith, Jaden was homeschooled by his parents, eventually stepping into the world of film with blockbuster roles in The Pursuit of Happiness and The Karate Kid, giving him a chance to break free from his father's shadow. But no matter how far he went, he could never quite outrun it. And in early interviews, he opened up about not only how his life was a lot different from your normal childhood, but how his father seemed to be doing the utmost to destroy any credibility he could possibly have.
It's pretty embarrassing when my dad tries to kiss me on the mouth in public.
Oh man, that is bad.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. We were in Korea, he tried to kiss me on my mouth in the press conference. He tried to make a
I'm not gonna lie. Hey, yo, this nigga's too old to be kissing on the mouth, bro, with your dad, bro. Even then, I don't know. Something about kissing any of your parents on the mouth, nigga, is weird. Like, that's weird. I don't give a fuck. I know Tom Brady be doing that shit. Now we know Will Smith be doing it. That shit weird, bro. I don't know. What are you kissing niggas on the mouth for, bro?
Heart with our hands like this. I was against that as well.
You weren't down with the heart with dad.
I was against that as well. And on Ellen, he tried to kiss me, and I almost flipped the couch over. So that was a good time.
I think it's sweet that your dad loved
Will
you
Smith
so
freaked
much.
out.
I appreciate the love, but there's a time and place to kiss somebody.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
To make matters worse, his career was about to take a major hit from his first flop. A scarring experience that left him unwilling to pursue.
Y'all kissing y'all sons and daughters on the mouth when y'all have one? I gotta see something about y'all, I ain't gonna lie.
That side of entertainment ever again. The problems came from M. Night Shyamalan's After Earth. For those who don't know, this was a big budget sci-fi film starring Will Smith and his son Jaden.
Okay.
And while it had all the makings of a blockbuster hit with big stars, high production value, in a unique setting, it ended up being a huge disappointment both critically and financially. A film which is said to be based on certain aspects of the teachings of Scientology, a church which
nigga.
Will and Jada
You just heard me say that shit is weird. Why would I be, bro? I should shave your fucking head, bro. I ain't gonna lie. What are you talking about?
have allegedly donated to over the years, the film barely scraped $60 million in the United States against its massive $130 million budget. Essentially,
Yeah, nigga,
it was a
bomb.
flop, scoring an embarrassing 11% rating on Rotten
That's not a
Tomatoes.
flop, nigga. That's a
To make
bomb,
matters
nigga.
worse,
You ain't even do
Jaden
half
walked
of
away
what they
with a
paid.
Golden Raspberry Award for the worst performance of the year. In his book, Will opened up about how starring in the film alongside him deeply affected Jaden, making a turning point in their relationship. Fans and the press were absolutely vicious. They said and printed things about Jaden that I refused to repeat. He claimed, Jaden had faithfully done everything that I'd instructed him to do, until I had coached him into the worst public mauling he'd ever experienced. And as it turns out, this experience was so painful that he almost tried to leave his family behind. At 15 years old, when Jaden was asked about being an emancipated minor, my heart shattered. He ultimately decided against it, but it sucks to feel like you've hurt your kids. But in typical fashion for the time, the Smith family tried to maintain the illusion that they were the perfect
Nigga
family.
tried to dip out.
And in an interview from that time, the pair joked about it as if it wasn't a real trauma for them to endure.
Now, speaking of that, I just heard when we were talking this morning about you being here that you are trying to become emancipated. Is that right?
See, here's the thing I need to explain. I'm not going
Ellen be
anywhere.
bugging.
The thing that people don't get is everything at his house is free. So I can get anything and everything that I want at his house. So I think I'm gonna be there for 20, 30 more years. But he says as soon as I have a movie that's bigger than one of his movies, then I have to
there
give
ain't no
all
reason
else.
to live at my house no more. But no.
So where'd that come from?
Just I think I made a joke
Oh.
in Tokyo. Yeah. No, he's like, I mean,
My baby boy, he's never leaving me ever.
ever.
Well,
No emancipation for the Smith
All right.
kids.
Nigga, Smith zesty.
for the Smith kids.
Little did we all know that would be a sign of things to come for the family. Whether it was conscious or not, it was around this time that Jaden began to reinvent his public image. Suddenly, he would begin to deliver a succession of cryptic tweets, painting him
When life gives you big problems, just be happy you forgot all your little problems. If I were white and not Will Smith's silly son, I would be the most respected philosopher. Who was this nigga feeling like? What the fuck? Who was he feeling like? It's your birthday, Mateo said. I didn't respond. Are you not excited to be 15? He asked. Reading my book, I uttered, I turned 15 long ago. You do not know who you... Bro, this nigga, who's he feeling like? You do not know who you are or why you are here. So when you see someone who does... Who dose the society... They couldn't even spell does right.
1009 says the man laughed out loud and kissed the packages. How gentle they took me. They don't know who they're messing with. If it wasn't for the pericard, so I wouldn't have saved the freight.
What? Bro, stick to the fun facts, bro. I don't know what you just said.
himself as a deep thinker with broader
Yeah, this
views
nigga, I
on
don't know who he
humanity,
feeling like,
rather
I
than
ain't
being
gonna
the
lie.
little guy from the Karate Kid. And it was around this exact time that suddenly, he was giving himself reason to be clowned at all times. This is the era where the infamous Jaden Smith's tweets began. We could be here all day reading them, so let's just take a look at a few
Nigga said,
examples.
"I'd be the
No
greatest
pain, no
philosopher of all
gain. Young
time."
Kurt
Who bro feeling
Cobain.
like?
Dear everybody who can rap better than me, please show me. If newborn babies could speak, they'd be the most intelligent beings on planet Earth. Alongside making big claims about his rapping abilities, for a kid who had only released one mixtape with the Cool Cafe at the time, Jaden's tweets continued to entertain and enrage in equal
What does that even
measure.
mean,
While
bro?
some people just took it as a little rich kid playing at being profound, others, including some of those close to him, began to take issue, including longtime friend Tyler the Creator, who responded with, "You actually kind of sound like an idiot."
If everybody in the world dropped out of school, we would have a much more intelligent society. Yo, niggas just be saying anything. You actually kind of sound like an idiot.
To a tweet from Jaden that said,
Nigga,
if
flame
everyone
that
in the
nigga.
world dropped out of school, we would have a much more
I didn't know he
intelligent
was gonna fucking read
society.
it too.
With every thought from his head coming from a place of privilege, it was hard to take anything he said seriously.
When did he look like that?
Instead, it wound up with him being the butt of the joke. For that reason, it wasn't even the only time he got Tyler's wrath around this time.
Jaden Smith said you really wrecked his sneakers when you come around the crib.
He's a fucking
Jaden Smith
is a fucking Jaden, I hate you, you're
for real.
Hey, that's my nigga though.
Yeah, that nigga
Alongside
Tyler used to
releasing
be
the
crazy,
second project
boy.
in his Cool Tape series, Jaden would continue
Hey,
to
that nigga
aggravate
Tyler
the
used to be
public with
crazy,
his behavior.
boy.
Not least of all, when he
Took off
turned
the
up to
Kendrick
Kanye
shit,
West
thank
and Kim
God, bro, I ain't gonna
Kardashian's
lie.
wedding in a white Batman outfit, creating some of the most surreal images you'll ever see from a guest. Right away, this got him promptly roasted. The hero no one needs, and hopefully no one deserves. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become Jaden Smith.
Why they
Still,
playing
if
with
you
this
ask
nigga?
Jaden, he was on the right path. In interviews from around this time, he portrayed himself as though he was pushing boundaries in a way that was artistic rather than simply annoying. So much so that there's articles online that highlight some of his most cringe quotes of one particular interview where Jaden Smith was explaining that he really liked Apple products, before then making it 10 times deeper than it really was. Saying that he likes anything you can shock somebody with. The only way to change something is to shock it. If you want your muscles to grow, you have to shock them. If you want society to change, you have to shock them. Eager to be taken seriously as an artist, Jaden rose from the ashes of his wrecked film career to try and make it as an MC for real this time. And in interviews leading up to the release of his debut album, there was clear intent with his music.
I'm trying to make like young adults
Yo, this nigga
cry
hair
in their
look
room
crazy.
or have like psychedelic experiences,
Nigga got
like
Lisa
listening
Simpson
to
here.
my
Them niggas
music
thugging.
and like have like a life-changing moment. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to do. I've never really been in love with the industry. I've always been in love with the connecting of abysses of people.
And more specifically, he
dressed like
wanted to
Homer,
emulate
bro.
the man who did that for him.
Who made you do that? Who made you, as a young adult, cry in your room listening to their music?
Cuddy, you know what I mean? Cuddy would always say things that.
Any nigga that Kid Cudi is their favorite rapper, I question them off the rip. I ain't gonna lie. Any nigga that their favorite rapper is Kid Cudi, like, he's a good artist, don't get me wrong, but your favorite rapper, I question you a little bit. Cause that nigga's very questionable himself, so you gotta kind of like weigh the cards out there. You said who? Kid Cudi, nigga. If that's your favorite artist, I'm looking at you a little different.
Just would like
ain't gonna
change my
hold you.
life, and then I thought it was just me and my brother for a while, and then I got older and started going to festivals, and then I realized like, oh man, everybody feels like that. Like everybody has felt that from Cudi. Everybody says that Cudi saved their life. Everybody,
play a song, but
if
I'm not
you're
doing all
born
that.
at that right time, everybody was in high school and just like chilling, and everybody had that same experience listening to Cudi. If someone listened to Cudi, you knew like something about them. You know what I mean? It's like you can tell certain things about them.
But no matter what he thinks he's achieving, a lot of the public weren't on board. Particularly when he kept giving off the pompous vibe of a bratty rich kid who'd been taught that he was special. We don't think a lot of music out there is that cool. Jaden once said of himself and his sister Willow, "So we make our own music. We don't have any song that we like to listen to on the PCH by any other artist, you know?" This quote from Jaden is important because it basically sets the scene for how he'd carry himself from there on out. In his mind, he was the intellectual savior of hip-hop, claiming the title icon out the gate and attempting to make his album sound as profound as possible.
So with this album, I want you to talk to me, who is Sire to you? Because that's like...
I mean, nigga, I look at it like you should always think you're the best. Just because he rich and he spawned in with money, he can't think he's the best, nigga? Like, what? I don't get this logic, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They just hating on the nigga at this point. Now, that shit he was saying earlier, though, I don't know what the fuck bro was talking about. But here, niggas is just dick riding. I ain't gonna lie.
Like, it's so crazy. I really
It's
love
bad.
that you formed this alter ego. Like, who is he to you? Like, what is that? What does that mean to you?
Well, to me, Sire is the kid who always chases the sun, but he's kind of like Cupid.
His hair looks like his
He's
skin.
like a modern Cupid.
You're not even
he's
lying.
a
It's
symbol
crazy.
of love and teenage love, but
Hey,
most
yo,
of
put
all,
your
he's a
shirt
symbol
down.
of teenage heartbreak
Yeah.
and sadness. He's kind of like a myth, like a legend, like fucking Zeus. Like Sire exists in the clouds, on the mountaintops, like in the sunset, and he just represents lost teenage youth, lost love.
Are we gonna keep meeting him on future albums? We're gonna get to know him better?
Yeah, you're gonna keep meeting him through the
What
series
is
of
this
my
nigga
music
saying?
videos, and then through the film that I'm gonna release, the Sire movie, and then you'll meet the other alter ego Iris.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get to know Iris too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But despite his best efforts, it doesn't connect. Deemed corny by many,
that nigga said that shit on the spot too. He just built the whole world on the spot. I'm not gonna lie, none of that was premeditated. He did not think of any of that. I can just tell by the way he was saying it. None of that was premeditated. Nigga just built a whole world on the spot. That takes talent, I ain't gonna lie. But it sounded like bullshit.
His debut album Sire is his most successful album to date, peaking at number 24 on the charts and going gold. But reviews were mixed at best, with popular critics such as Fantano pretty much summing it up swiftly for everyone.
Just kind of feeling like in general this record is fake deep. It's kind of fake deep. There's just too much filler. There's too much awful moments. There's too much completely drab, boring, average, run-of-the-mill, trendy, thoughtless, and middlebrow songs on this thing for it to truly be entertaining and worthy of
oh my God, this nigga's ratings I never took
runtime
serious,
that
though.
Jaden has given it.
Despite his ambitions, the attempt to make himself into an icon in one fell swoop didn't pay off. But one of the biggest reasons Jaden struggles to succeed, despite his privileged upbringing, is that failure doesn't really cost him anything. Bad reviews and mediocre sales don't affect him the way they would with a regular artist. And the same goes for Aries, its sequel, which peaked at number 12 on the charts, but got far worse reviews. Described by Pitchfork as mostly a slog, they went on to say that it was the sound of an artist with a blurry vision and too many resources at his disposal. And sure enough, it was a far cry from what his dad wound up in when his album failed.
We released our next album and it was like a flop. It was a tragedy. It went like double plastic.
I had spent most of my money.
MCM
like all of
Academy,
I spent all my money.
And
that might gotta be a
I didn't
segment for niggas
forget,
like you.
But I didn't pay the IRS. In my mind, I mean, I wasn't like trying to avoid paying taxes. I was just like, oh damn, they need their money. The IRS took all that stuff. So I was like, broke. Being famous and broke is a shitty combination. Cause you're still famous and people recognize you, but they recognize you while you sitting next to them on the bus.
Where Will had to hustle, Jaden got to breeze by without any hardship for releasing a subpar project.
That was kind of crazy.
All the while, he kept torturing people with cringe-inducing quotes where he proclaimed his own greatness.
I'm not a Mayan. I don't have the crystal skulls, and I don't have all of this ancient, infinite, knowledge. But I am a menace, and I am terrorizing this beat right now. There are some things I have done that are very, very iconic, like wearing a skirt in Louis Vuitton, or like crying in my music videos. So I feel like that's iconic because no one does those things,
I guess I get why people are so magnetized by Jaden Smith. Like, he thinks that he's so unique and he's so profound and he's so special and that he's really just trailblazing. And I think a lot of people want to feel that way. I'm sure it's a great feeling, but the price you pay for that always, there's no other price for this. The price you pay for that always
8-bit. What
is
the fuck?
a stunning lack of self-awareness. A stunning lack of self-awareness.
And somehow it
Nigga
just
said nobody's
kept
ever
getting worse.
cried in their music video before.
They receive that hate is because they do things that other people don't do. You know what I'm saying?
Problem with that statement is twofold. One, I feel like Jaden is kind of suffering from a bit of a Cuddy complex on this thing. Like, all of his art exists through this lens of everyone doesn't like me, I have tons of people that don't like me, it's me versus the world, and I'm taking all this hate, I'm taking all this negativity, and I'm just like this master of my domain because I can just take it. You can hate on me all you want, just fucking crucify me. Like, the more people hate you and the more people dislike you is not necessarily the mark of a good artist. Like, certainly I feel like you can't please everybody, and you have to at least kind of piss some people off to show that you're doing something right. But if all you're doing is negativity, or at least all you're gauging your success by is negativity, you're kind of in a bit of a warped state of mind there.
Boasting 87,000 likes on his video, it's safe to say that people agree with Fantano's point of view. This kid has clearly lived in a bubble his whole life, where he was told how brilliant he is, and with all the money in the world to help him, you can see why he turned out this way. At least Lil Pump consciously knows he's a troll and goes with it. In spite of the fact that his own art wasn't exactly setting the world on fire, Jaden continued to move with a superiority complex, which made it sound like he was better than those around him.
And I look and I go around sometimes and I hang out with other people that are my age.
Oh my God, that Lil Pump line was just pure dicky, bro. This nigga's music sounded nothing like Lil Pump stuff. Like, where did the comparison even come from? Because they both make rap music, nigga. Like, come on, let's be real, bro. Lil Pump, that nigga was just saying shit. He wasn't saying anything. That nigga was just saying shit, bro.
And they're just kind of
Like, selfie. I'm just like, dude, like, oh my god, like, can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world right now?
Surprisingly, this went down terribly with the general public.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, that shit don't even sound real, bro. Oh my god, bro. It's so bad, bro. It's so bad.
And I look and I go around sometimes and I hang out with other people that are my age and they're just kind of selfie. I'm just like, dude, like, oh my god, like, can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world right now?
And unsurprisingly, this went down terribly with the general public. And if you had a negative view on him before, this seemed to basically solidify it. When you are born into wealth and privilege and never had any real problems, you go looking for him. Him and his family are so unbelievably out of touch with reality.
And all the comments are about his comments. Did you talk about the political and economic state of our country at Coachella? Let's talk about the political state of the world. Wait, oh, this is just this one? I saw lots of videos on TikTok of people being like, bro, you're a fucking kid. Like, bro, we're at recess.
Well,
dude.
right, because I believe he was, I don't know if he said it in that clip, but I think he was referring to when he was like 12 or 13.
They're like, dude, this is recess.
This nigga's corny. I don't know why you put this nigga in the video.
I hate how this interviewer is just like enabling him. I don't know anything about
kids my own age. And I look and I go around sometimes and I hang out with other people that are my age and they're just kind of
I hate that interviewer, how he does that.
So that's Big Boy. He's like a legend in LA radio hip hop.
Big Boy.
He's like a legend. So I'm just curious why he had Jaden Smith.
Amid giving the public more and more reasons to troll him, Jaden stayed the course, explaining why he regards himself as a pioneer.
I just wanted to dive into a different type of style of music and really learn and kind of challenge myself as well and push myself and the team that I work with musically. And, you know, I'm always trying to do something that hasn't been done. I'm always trying to push some type of boundary on the edge of something. So, you know, we were trying to do that again with this album and we're trying to do it even more so and like kind of get the point across even more with the deluxe version.
He even had the audacity to suggest that he was now a threat to the kings of the game. I always felt like little homie before and that allowed me in all their circles, said Jaden. But now that I'm on the charts next to them, I'm not really little homie anymore. It's more like you can't hang out with us anymore. We didn't know you were making an album this whole time. We thought you were just little homie giving us free water and shit. You're not really cool with us anymore. But while their every musical movement makes waves, Jaden is stuck eternally trying too hard and only really garnering buzz when he says something outrageous. From a stunt where he pretended to be Tyler the Creator's boyfriend.
I just want to say Tyler the Creator is the best friend in the world and I love him so fucking much. And I want to tell you guys something. I want to tell you, Tyler doesn't want to say, but Tyler's my motherfucking boyfriend, and he's been my motherfucking boyfriend my whole fucking life.
This is crazy trolls, I ain't gonna lie.
The Creator is my fucking boyfriend.
Crazy trolls.
To a Style Icons video where he pinpointed a Greek god as someone he wanted to emulate.
Number 2, I think Poseidon. Poseidon has influenced me all types of ways. If you look at the sculptures though, he has a lot of drapes, just with the drapes and with the silhouettes, you know. Always when I was young, always got to me. Always knew that he was one of my fashion icons, inspirations. Poseidon has a lot of chains and jewels. He also has a huge, like, trident. He has a trident, it's lit, and he, you know, he's lit. He's just vibes inside it.
And rather than being treated as an equal in the way he sought, Jaden continued to be sunned by the true stars of hip-hop for how he was moving.
Went on tour with Thug. He's the coolest person ever, and we would hang out every single day. And he used to always come into my dressing room and be like, bro, there's no girls in here. And I'd be like, oh, no, you know, and he'd be like, bro, I haven't seen you with any girls. I'm really worried. I would like go and hang out with people just so that like he would see me, so that he wouldn't worry. That was the best tour experience ever.
Now, the peak of engagement with his music is in the rear view mirror. These days,
I'm not
even
worried
his
about the
official
hair, it's
videos
what he
average
got
around
on.
1 million views and are essentially capped there. Overall, it doesn't seem like he can escape his family's shadow.
When that happens, is it completely like that's the entertainment world and that doesn't affect the family, or do you guys just call and text and check on one another and make sure everybody's head screwed on right?
It's kind of like
looked like
the
a
entertainment world,
translator sleeping in his head.
This is totally different.
Right.
We kind of like, it's like, yeah, because also by the time anyone is like writing or talking about anything, it's like we've been
beyond.
It's old news for us. You know what I mean? Like it's like anything that's in the news has had the time to happen and then go out. So by the time it's going out, people think it's happening, but it's actually has already happened.
That's a major key, no?
Oh,
it allows
that's
you to deal with it so much better than if you're dealing with it while the rest of the world is obsessed with it, right?
Yeah, and that's what it feels like for other people, but that's not actually how it ever is for
us. This video is
and while he was trying to be a serious artist, intermingling that with Red Table Talk appearances didn't help either.
You and Daddy never told us really what type of world you guys came from.
Yeah.
We just thought that you guys just sprouted up out of the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And by this point, Jaden seems to be more than aware that for the most part, the public isn't rooting for him. Even when he tried to show off his gym gains, he had to do so through the lens of the way people see about him online. Haters will post the one on the left and ignore the one on the right. Like, damn, can a man have his phases? All in all, Jaden is in a tough spot, as unless you go out of your way to be a supporter of his, you either don't hear about his new work, or you choose to write it off as just more music from Will Smith's Weird Kid. Even though he played a key role in creating the water box for Flint, Michigan during the height of the crisis, and clearly has his heart in the right place in some ways, it still hasn't earned him any slack. But right now, he might be releasing the most accomplished work of his career, and it wouldn't be enough. Because where he once had the capabilities to momentarily outrun his family's name, the collective distaste for the Smiths has made everything a whole lot harder for him to overcome. Back in the day, people used to wonder how someone like Jaden could be the product of a guy like Will
video
Smith,
game dreads.
almost universally beloved.
That nigga had video game dreads. Hell no.
How someone like Jaden.
Yo, that shit is terrible. Nigga had video game dreads. That is bad, bro. Bangalore dread. That shit terrible, bro. I don't ever want to see nobody in real life with this cut, bro. This is terrible, terrible, terrible. Nigga.
Could be the product of a guy like Will Smith. Almost universally beloved, Will was a platinum-selling artist, a constant box office attraction, and even made a successful journey into YouTube. And above all, he did it without sacrificing that good guy image. Or so we thought.
I'm coming into a space.
That nigga Will Smith went crazy.
I mean, you come from Philly, you've gone through everything. Like, your journey's been crazy. Like, how have you maintained that?
You know, it's really interesting. It's like the idea. I haven't maintained my authenticity per se. I've maintained my character, right? I've maintained my beliefs. Character in two senses. I've maintained my character of Will Smith, and I've maintained my personal character of what I believe in. So, but in terms of authenticity, the character Will Smith signs every autograph and is always happy and wants to see the fans and is always in a good mood, and that's actually not authentic, right? I do want to slap somebody, you know, every once in a while. So in terms of authenticity, I have successfully maintained positivity, and now I'm working more to maintain authenticity.
And while we all know the moment when the wheels officially came off,
he smacked the fuck out that nigga.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of it.
Looking back will tell you that Will Smith was coming apart at the seams long before the slap occurred.
The idea for me is I painted myself into a corner with Will Smith, right? And I realized that, you know, we have our childhood traumas and we have our experiences, and then we all create
nigga, so is this a Will Smith video
that
now?
are going to be our characters that defend us in the world. Ooh. There's certain things we can't do, there's certain things we can't say, certain ways we react if people do something. Then that character wins some things for us. It's like, oh, we succeed by behaving this way. Then what happens, you get to a point where it stops working as well. And the reason that it stops working is because it's not true.
But once the slap happened, the goodwill was lost once and for all.
It was a lot of things. It was the little boy that watched his father beat up his mother. That was a rage that had been bottled for a really long time. But at the end of the day, I lost it. My nephew, Dom, is 9. And he is the sweetest little boy. He's like, you know, we came home and it's like he had stayed up late to see his Uncle Will. And he's just like, why did you hit that man, Uncle Will? You know, damn it. Why are you trying to Oprah me?
Then there was his mom's contributions to the whole thing. Ever since she revealed her entanglement with August Alsina, the notion of their perfect relationship exploded in front of their eyes, while at the same time,
I'm not gonna lie, he could have smacked the fuck out of Chris Rock in every universe. That's not what caused it. It was this shit, bro. Nigga, nobody looked at this nigga the same after this bitch did that shit, bro. This bitch is evil, bro. She cooked Will Smith. I'm not gonna lie. She cooked the fuck out of that nigga. She's evil, bro.
Destroying Will's cool image as it became increasingly clear that his wife ran his life.
Literally, bro.
Out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
Immediately, this tarnished their image, leading nothing but hate to come her way ever since.
For Jada in particular, though, she just really came off as the stereotype that a lot of men have about women refusing to be accountable for the ways in which they hurt the men close to them. Jada, in many ways, dances around the nature of this relationship and at one point calls it an entanglement, which makes Will, who this whole time has always played the supportive and aloof partner, break character, where he has to almost side-eye her and her use of that term and confront her with being accountable for what it really was, a relationship that she had with another man. And I might add, an overtly toxic one at that.
And every new clip that's emerged since has painted a dark portrait of their life.
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me if you could film me. My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, you know, don't just start rolling. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Then her attempt at a tell-all autobiography flopped, pretty much because she'd already told everyone anything they could want to know. This naturally had a knock-on effect on Jaden and Willow. According to a source, the kids feel bad for their dad with all the recent headlines about their parents. They know he has been going through a lot lately and this isn't helping. They wish some of their family's private matters remained private. But beyond the emotional impact, it must have taken a professional one too, in that it essentially reduced the whole family to a laughingstock. Once among the most revered dynasties in Hollywood, they were now seen as the dysfunctional family that you'd never want to emulate. Reduced to a tabloid figure, the past few years have seen more interest in Jaden's love life than his music. For a while, he was dating an influencer known as Sob Zeta, becoming so infatuated with her that it stopped him from putting out a new project, writing in February of 2024 that, album soon, I've been distracted. But after he was caught kissing influencer and model Clea Petray, she was then seen with rapper Diablo, likely shading Smith in a photo of the two of them together. Amid all of this drama, Jaden has tried to persevere and create, even channeling the sadness from the breakup into his music.
Why, after 3 years of break from music, you decided now was the time to make a return?
Just because I was sad, honestly, and I wanted to share that.
I mean, I think that's a great thing as an artist that you were able to, you know, notice that you had some emotions that you wanted to get out. So is it more difficult to kind of process your emotions through music, or is it easier for you that way?
I think it's easier. I think it's a lot easier.
Since he's now focused on writing from personal experience rather than chasing the icon status, it seemed like he might finally be moving past the cringe phase. However, his recent EP Life was met with heavy criticism, and to make matters worse, it was mostly ignored by both the public and critics. Enough with the self-pity. It's getting pathetic. Ultimately, Jaden's stocks are at an all-time low. No longer a movie star, discredited as a musician, and trapped under the shadow of his family's reputation, Will and Jada's firstborn is fighting an uphill battle. Even if he were to create the best music of his career or finally become the revolutionary figure he's always claimed to be, it wouldn't matter. His audience has already shrunk, and the damage done over the years may be too great to overcome. It's your boy Luesta, and as always, I want to thank y'all for watching today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
That's a good video, I ain't gonna lie.